Hello and welcome everybody to 1976. Now, do you remember in the early 2000s when Cadillac came out with their CTS sedans? They were angular and everybody was like, wow, that stands out, because everybody was going for swoopy and smooth, and Cadillac had this bold new design. But in 1976, Spalding, top Flite here, was going for the same thing. Look at this angular cavity right here and this square head. Pretty interesting. So I first saw this as a Disney, or it looked very similar to this, except there was a circle with Mickey in it hitting a golf ball. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And so I went out and I found one. I'm like, sweet, I want this one. And so I bought it. And then I get home and I look it up and it's like, this is the ladies version. And I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. Because if you guys know this channel, historically, I've hit ladies clubs better than I hit men's clubs, which tells you something about my swing speed and dynamic and how tall I am and all of that. So anyway, we have some lovely 1976 Top Flite ladies irons. Let's get it on the review table and have a closer look. Hello and welcome everybody. Interesting things that define this before we even get to the branding. This is very square, okay? The face is just a very square shaped face for those of us that are used to looking at rounded clubs. But there's always somebody out there. There's always going to be somebody who's really pedantic. It's like, well, technically, that's not a square at all, isn't it? It's more of an angular sector, isn't it? It's like, thank you, Galileo. Can we just move on? So generally, when you see shapes like this with a nice pointy toe, you remember this is not like a 3 iron. This is a 7 iron, and it still has this nice pointed toe right here. Lots of people will call this more of a square toe, all right? So a square-shaped iron head. So as we look at the back, you can see it says Top Flite right here. And what gives it away that it's a ladies club is that it's in red. Okay, black is generally, the men's iron, and red is the ladies' iron. But I'm a man, and I'm going to hit this. Therefore, at this moment, this is a man's club. So we have a gold bird hovering right here with a little circle. On the toe, this is really interesting. There's the iron number towards the toe, and then it says Spalding Dinertial, which, I think they just made that up. That must just be, because I don't believe in, because science wouldn't come up with a word like that, would they? Here's the heel profile, toe profile, very clean. And you've already seen the face. The face is just no nonsense grooving with this interesting texture right here. Exactly what you expect to see on an iron. It looks like a big strike zone through here. One of the added benefits of having the toe pushed out here is sometimes when you start rounding right here, they'll stop the grooves short. So you have a very small strike zone, huge strike zone here. So if that's what you like to see, this is the answer. I'm looking around the hosel here. No pins. Ferrule, looks like there's a serial number on here. 2 gold ring. We move up the stepped shaft, and no labels other than my label to remind me what year this was produced, 1976. And then it looks like, I'm not sure what this grip is. It looks like some aftermarket grip. It still has some good grip to it. I mean, this is still very useful. The butt cap is broken off, so nothing to report. All right, now we're going to take our square iron out on the range and see how it feels. So I did hit it pretty well. I hit one fat there. I mean, everybody hits one fat every now and then, right? And so overall, these are absolutely lovely. I could totally go for a set of these. I like them because they are different. And Top Flite is one of those really interesting brands that seems to be a brand for the people. Another way of saying that they're usually pretty inexpensive. Okay, let's just say this. But the idea that you could buy forged irons at an affordable price, right? Nowadays, there's no such thing as like investment forged irons. It's like the cheap forged irons are selling for what, $800? And so There's going to be some exceptions with small productions, but you guys know what I'm talking about. It's hard to find anything, a set of new forged irons for under $1,000 these days. So this presents a really interesting opportunity, and I'm definitely interested in this. I don't care if it's ladies or men's. The Top Flite 76 irons are amazing. So yes. As far as, the things that I can't speak to, I don't know how collectible they're going to be, but there's something that I definitely desire to build a set of these. The problem is a lot of the Spalding era woods are laminate, and I don't really agree with some of I've hit some of those Spalding. I have some Spalding laminate woods from this era, and they disagree with me. You know what I mean? I need to take some Tums every time I pull one of those out because you're going to have some heartburn. So what would you pair this with? So imagine that you had a set of these. Lovely. It doesn't matter if it's ladies or men's. What kind of woods would you pair this with? And putter. They still made the Wilson 8802, but I really like the bullseye putter. There are a lot of let me know in the comments below how you would build your set around a set of these. Beautiful clubs. I like them, and I'm interested to read your thoughts. As usual, if you want to support this channel, you can support me on Patreon. Thank you to my patrons. If you want credit, I'll give you credit. If not, we'll keep your name off this list. And you can also visit my Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe.